What is up, Sooner Nation? I am Casey Mallon, and you are now, come on, get with me in a Sooner state of mind. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Amazon Music. Sunshine, daydream, Sooner state of mind, family. What is good? The Ides of March are almost upon us, but things are pretty good. Now, I know it is only the off season, and I know that the regular season is still several months away. And I know that I go through life wearing Sooner goggles. My eyes, the goggles, they do nothing. Even so, when I tell you that Stoke levels are rising and that the feel good is totally justified, I'm not only saying it, I'm believing it. The Sooners have been on fire this offseason. And it's not only one thing that you can point to, it is everything from the new AD to the new additions to the coaching staff, to the way our Sooners performed at the Combine, to the roster retention, to the transfer portal additions, and to the 2027 recruiting class. It's all good, baby. But let's go ahead and go back to the Combine first. And after back-to-back years of only having 3 players get an invite to Indy, the Sooners represented with 10 players showing up to show out, and show out they did. I'm a sicko, so I'm all about the Combine, and overall it was incredible by Combine standards. The fastest ever Combine at several positions. Groups were just tearing it up. The speed was on display. But what stoked me out the most is how well the Sooners represented. 10 Sooners talked about Dion, Jaron, Fabechi, Grayson, Marvin, R. Mason, Dominic, Kendall, Owen, RSJ. It was a great week to be a Sooner. We know all these cats knocked it out of the park in their interviews because that's the type of thing they practice in BV's world. And because BV and company have put a major emphasis on not only developing these young men as players, but also as humans, giving them life skills on and off the field, teaching them about what happens after football or if there is no NFL. But in this case, we're talking on the field. And several Sooners lit it up. My man, Dion Burks, ran a 4.340. That is flying. One of the top 40 times in the entire Combine. And not only that, he also put up 25 reps on the bench press. And that is the most by a player that ran that fast in over 20 years. Yeah, some of the big guys can get some bigger reps, but Burks, strong. And it's a total bummer that we weren't able to better utilize him in his time here at Oklahoma. I know he missed games due to injury, and that took a little longer than we wanted, but I feel like we should have found a way to get him more production. I think he could have done more. He's got a tremendous skill set. He's unguardable. And we just didn't get all that we could have out of that situation. And, I don't know that it's anybody's fault. It's just kind of the way it worked out, which kind of bums me out for him and his time with the Sooners. But I think that dude has a very bright future in the NFL. So he'll get on somewhere. And he was not the only speed demon at the combine representing the Sooners. RSJ also clocked in with one of the fastest times at the combine, top 6 overall. They said my dude cannot run. That was a lie. Grayson Halton, just a freak of nature, man. And you saw the progression of this guy, how he got better every season at Oklahoma. And I think he is just getting started, man. Dude ran a 4.82 40. That is blazing for a big man. G-Baby also had a 36.5-inch vertical. Are you kidding me? That was the best out of all defensive tackles. No surprise there. Jaron Kanik, explosive. Wowed people in his interviews with his knowledge of football and the transition he made of only 1 year at tight end. Versatile. Swiss Army knife, if you will. Dominic Williams, strong. R. Mason, Kendall Daniels, Marvin Jones, Fabechi, Heineke, they all represented Sooner Nation well. And mostly all of them were the talk of the combine. And Nagy said in his presser this week when his NFL buddies call to find out about a Sooner player, he gives them the truth straight up. Not going to strain those relationships to protect the player that didn't do his thing. He'll give it honest. And his honest assessment about all these dudes is he is completely stoked for them. So, getting back. We're getting the band back together, man. And I feel like all the Sooners made money at the combine. So, congratulations to them. We look forward to all of them taking the next step in their careers towards the NFL. Except Mr. Heineke. We want to see him take a few more steps in his Sooner career. Greedily, that is. Now, speaking of Owen Heineke, during spring media availability this week, Jim Nagy said, quote, "We would be remiss if we didn't keep fighting," end quote, for another year of availability for Owen Heineke. Remiss. It means careless or negligent in performing a duty or responsibility. Read a book, nerds. Nonetheless, all those cats are moving on. Hopefully Heineke's moving back in, but if not, it's on to the NFL. And as those guys are moving on, as they do, they create room for the next generation of Sooners. And we all knew it was great news when we heard we were getting NFL legend Jason Witten as our new tight ends coach. Joe John had run thin. If it was his fault or not, Sooner Nation was fed up. And you can't deny we haven't had a lot of productivity out of that position the last few years. Not like it had been. So getting Jason Witten on board, brilliant. When I first started hearing that, I was like, no, this can't be true. And then, surprise, surprise, it was. And the impact he's had on the program we're already seeing it. So we knew it was great news when we got him, but it got even greater when we heard we were also landing the next generation of Wittens. 2027 linebacker Cooper Witten has committed to our Oklahoma Sooners. 6'2", 215. Chose the Sooners over Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, Texas, LSU, Tennessee, A&M, Georgia. Many consider this guy to be the number one linebacker in 2027. Last year as a junior, 87 total tackles, 61 solo tackles, averaging over 12 per game, 2 sacks, an interception, 7 forced fumbles. Oh, yeah, dude plays a little offense too. Over 700 receiving yards. Dude can do it all. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. I'm assuming it will stay at linebacker, but he's got the athleticism that they can do more if they want to. But the good news does not end there, my friends. No, it does not. Sooners held their Future Freaks weekend last week, and let me tell you, it was super freaky. And it was delightful how the good news just kept trickling out on the social media pipeline all day. Sooners ended the weekend with 6 new commits. And as you guys know, try not to get too stoked out by recruiting news. Take it with a grain of salt, as many of these cats changed their mind several times before they ever step on a college campus. But I feel like this staff is identifying the type of kid that they want to recruit. And the kids that do commit to Oklahoma, they're all in. They give up the poker chip to prove it. And that good news started for Sooner Nation with 4-star quarterback Jamison Roberts committing to the Sooners. 6'3", 200 pounds from Mobile, Alabama, Oklahoma East, as some like to call it. He chose the Sooners over Georgia, Auburn, Florida. 1 year starting, over 4,000 yards, 58 touchdowns, dual threat. Nice. 4 stars, 2027 quarterback. Got Bo Bentley coming into 2026. Keep trying to get better at the position, man. If anything, this administration preaches competition. The best players will play. Doesn't matter what year you are. So if you don't want to compete, maybe OU is not the school for you. But if you want to come, get coached up on ball and life, then you come to OU. Tight end Seneca Driver. Starting to get these recruits in there. Safety Jalen Scott. Offensive lineman Tyson Ross. Got all those guys on Saturday. And then on Sunday, got a pledge from Graydon Howell. Mr. Howell the third, smashing lovey. Class is shaping up. 11 of the 19 4-star recruits are better. Witten, Driver, Cooper, Hackett, Caden Penny, Tavin Epps, all in the top 100. And as we sit now in March, Sooners have the number 1 recruiting class of 2027. Things are looking up, man. Nagy and BV are a great combination. And they're preaching the same vision, and people want to be part of that. And we saw what the defense could do last season, and now the offense is hungry to hold up their end of the bargain this year. Didn't get all we could have out of them I think the injury to Matthias Thumb had a big part to do with that, but didn't run the ball well and couldn't have any cohesion. Those young bloods got a lot of reps on the offensive line last year, got thrown into the fire, and that is going to pay dividends in this upcoming season. And these Sooners, they also have a handful of high-ranked players that are crystal-balled. Cristobal, you've hardly touched your chilaquiles. But as precarious as maintaining actual commits is, we'll wait to speak on those potential commits until they become actual commitments. So try a little tenderness. But like I said, for all those keeping score at home, 2027 recruiting class, 3 5-stars. Some of the top players at their position, man. Stoked about the Seneca driver. Some nice running backs coming in. We've got our quarterback. Got some O-linemen coming in. Like I said, 4-star in-state mega athlete, Graydon Howell. Number 1, people. Getting it done in a major way. And I like it. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't heard the BV interview on the Oklahoma breakdown, wait till after you finish listening to Sooner State of Mind, go over there and give that thing a listen. BV, man. Dude is dialed in and on the precipice of something very special. I cannot wait to see this 2026 team on the field. I know we have the spring game coming up in just over a month, but oh man, stoke levels definitely rising. And it turned out that it was a pretty good weekend overall for Sooners athletics. OU baseball got the sweep. Softball dominating, hitting home runs like crazy. Men's gymnastics crushing, women's gymnastics crushing, tennis, wrestling. Oh, yeah, brother. And then OU men's hoops. Pretty sweet watching them win the regular season finale by beating Texas in overtime. Delightful. Fun. And it's kind of starting to feel like, oh, Porter is going to mess around and keep his job. The Sooners have been playing pretty good basketball, winning 6 of 8. Although it's probably going to take at least 2 wins in the SEC tourney to get to the dance. Probably, right? Will 1 do it? I don't know. 2, I think, for sure. So the Sooners take on South Carolina on Wednesday. And if they can win that game, they will move on to face Texas A&M. And when these Sooners play well, they are a lot of fun to watch. And when they're playing well, they can hang with most teams. So let's go into this tourney, make things interesting, and then see what happens. Give me 2 dubs. Utah, give me 2. Head on over to Believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Go to shows, type in Sooner State of Mind. That's Sooner State of Mind, and you are locked, my friends. We have a ton of great content, every team, every topic, everywhere, Believe.com. And if you want to watch Sooner State of Mind, head on over to YouTube and search the Football Dudes because we are there. My name is Casey Mallon, and I am in a Sooner State of Mind.